Everybody, Tony Beers here again, and this is
Russ
and Jay.
And this is Movie Grades, and in this Movie Grades we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, Jay, what do you think about it?
This is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Probably one of the best Spider-Man movies to date. I think Tom Holland did a really well job as Spider-Man, even from the Civil War movie that he premiered in as Spider-Man, and then Robert Downey Jr. I always love him as Tony Stark / Iron Man, and newcomer Michael Keaton, as you probably know him as I'm Batman. I'm Batman. It's actually cool. He was in this movie as a turn from DC to Marvel, even after so many years, almost 20 years or so. It's cool that he was the main antagonist in this movie. He played the Vulture. That was really cool. I like the suit. I like how they're doing all these advanced technological suits in these movies, not the old classic suits that we know and love. You know, even Spider-Man's suit was even technologically advanced too. Although also Shocker was in the movie too, but he was kind of minor to an extent. I wish they did more with him. Maybe we'll see in the next film, in the sequel. We'll see who they put in that. I know Russell wants Mysterio. Acting was good. The story was good. How about you, Russell? What do you think?
Let me start out by telling everyone that leading up to seeing this movie, pretty much everyone in my Facebook feed is saying, "Oh my God, this is the greatest movie! It deserves an Academy Award! It deserves this and that." So I went in thinking, "Oh, this better live up. This better be what everyone's crowing about." Did I think it was? No. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good, but I didn't think it was the be-all, end-all Spider-Man movies that everyone's calling it. Tom Holland did a pretty good job. I mean, it was very interesting seeing how seeing his back and forth, but with Iron Man, with Happy Hogan, played by Jon Favreau, my former teacher's stepson. And Michael Keaton was absolutely fantastic as the Vulture. One thing, I had to say, when I first heard they were trying to bring in the Vulture, I was worried. And the reason is, every time I see the Vulture, he just looks like some old guy with Alzheimer's wearing a Vulture suit. And I'm like, I really don't need to see that movie. No, they did something really cool with him, because Michael Keaton obviously wouldn't do something like that. So, yes, as Jay said, seeing him nearly 30 years after being Batman, becoming the Vulture, as one meme I saw on Facebook said, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, which technically he did. And it's funny because there's one point in this movie, I thought he kind of pulled, I don't know if it was intentional, but he kind of pulled off a moment where he seemed a lot like Jack Nicholson from back in the Joker days. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so reminiscent of Jack back in his days of Gotham. So I really enjoyed that. Again, it was a pretty decent film. Nothing that blew me away, but I definitely enjoyed seeing it. How about you, Tones?
Yeah, I was one of the people on your Facebook feed that says this might possibly be my favorite movie of this year so far, at least. Better than Wonder Woman, it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy, it's better than Logan, it's better than the Lego Batman. Every movie I saw, it's better than that. It's the best movie I've seen so far. I will agree with you, it's not 100% perfect, what movie is, but wow, I was impressed. I felt that this was, it's very similar to the Batman films in that I think that the Sam Raimi movies was kind of similar to the Tim Burton movies, very stylish and very superhero-ish. And I know you're going to disagree on this, but I felt the Amazing Spider-Man films was kind of like the Joel Schumacher of the Batman.
Definitely got to disagree there.
Universe. And this is kind of like the Christopher Nolan, not the gritty, realistic, but more as in they got the tone right. They got the characters right. They got the the essence of the character is right, and that's what I felt in this movie. I mean, Michael Keaton especially. I think Michael Keaton gives a great performance here. I think he's the best actor in this movie. Tom Holland is a very close second. Robert Downey Jr. for the small part that he had, I thought he was excellent. I have my problems. I mean, we'll get to those later, but overall, I thought it was great.
One thing that they kept in this movie that they need to keep in, but at least they didn't show in this movie, was about his origins. About that he was talking to his friend Ned, and he told him like, "Oh, you were bit by a spider. Did it hurt? Blah blah blah." At least they kept that in the movie, and
They acknowledged it.
They acknowledged it, and the one thing I liked was they did travel 8 years back in the past when this pretty much all started, or roughly around when it all started.
They went to the Chitauri invasion.
Yeah, it was after the Chitauri invasion, and Michael Keaton, his character was getting the Chitauri parts, and he was taking them as his own, and eventually.
Well, he wasn't. Not in the beginning.
Well,
I mean, he was basically taking them and then
he was doing what he was
cleanup.
He was clean. He was doing damage control
yeah.
as they mentioned in this movie, damage control, which is in the comics, which is a cleanup crew after heroes and villains have a monumental battle, and basically that woman came in and says, "Oh, we're shutting you down," you know, and then after that he started stealing parts.
I'll interject with a quick piece of trivia that the actress was Time Daly, who her brother does the voice of Superman, is Tim Daly.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow!
So basically, over these 8 years, he's been taking this technology after Damage Control. Well, Damage Control had like a headquarters where they kept all the salvaged, destroyed things that they were cleaning up, and I guess he stole. I guess he was stealing from them, and so basically, he's stealing this technology, selling it, and eventually it comes around. Well, they say what goes around comes around, and eventually he gets caught, and Spider-Man has to go after him, and Tony tells him, like, you know, you're doing a good job, but, you know, after that scene with the Staten Island Ferry gets destroyed, and then eventually, you know, Tony says that line, if you can't have the suit, then you're nothing at all, or something like that, right?
If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it.
You shouldn't have it.
Something like that.
Which was a really cool line. And what I really liked a lot was he had to use the suit that he had designed. So it was really cool that he was able to use this suit that he had designed and the webbing he's designed in this suit that he made to fight off, you know, the Vulture. We want to talk about the Twisted Fate scene, because this is a huge spoilers, though.
Yeah, well, that's spoiler warning for you guys.
I'll let Russell take it from here on this part that he enjoyed a lot.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier in the review, there's a part where basically, as far as I'm concerned, Michael Keaton suddenly embodied the Jack Nicholson of the Batman '89 era. So you may be wondering, okay, could you elaborate more on that, Russell? Yes, I will. Essentially, and this is where I thought, this is something interesting, because in a lot of ways I think this movie shares a lot of parallels to Raimi's Spider-Man 2, the way Peter tries to once again just go about regular daily life. Well, at this point he decides to ask this girl he likes in school out to the homecoming dance. She agrees, and it turns out her father is the Vulture. When he opens the door, you think for a minute, oh, did he capture her? Turns out he's actually her father. So she's talking a little about Spider-Man in the car on the way to the dance, and at that moment you see Toombs put two and two together and realizes that he's got Spider-Man in the back of the car with his daughter. So after he lets his daughter out, that's when he goes from being like the loving father and slowly over that period does a complete 180 and you see the antagonist And the interesting thing is, the whole time I was watching that scene where you first find out that he is her father, I'm just sitting there in the theater like it's like you don't even know exactly how to respond to that moment. It's like, oh my god, do you take this as funny, or are you...
Something the audience was laughing about.
Yeah, but it was funny in a kind of awkward way.
Yeah, it was. They were laughing to kind of ease the tension.
Yeah, it was
That's how I
tense.
seen that.
Yeah, because he's this happy-go-lucky guy, and then
Yeah.
and then he finds out that it's him. He puts two and two together, and I like how he says, "You saved my daughter's life, so today I'm gonna let you go free." Because he had a gun.
He says they'll give him a chance.
Yeah, because he did have a gun.
Yeah, he says, go out there and let's pretend none of this ever happened. And if you ever try to go after me again, I will kill you and everyone you love.
Yeah, after my business, I will. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And he
very
does a
good.
full 180, and at that moment, in my opinion, he embodies Jack. Yeah, he embodies the guy he fought against in '89. How epic is that?
That was a great twist. I did not see it
no,
coming.
I know myself.
It's, M. Night Shyamalan can learn from this movie because it's a great twist. But go ahead.
Another thing I enjoyed about this movie. Now, yes, take the Sam Raimi movies and
Amazing Spider-Man.
Mark
Webb movies, and yes, they did have the schools. Like, he did go to high school. Actually, in the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, actually, he did graduate. But I know in the first Amazing Spider-Man, there was that epic battle scene with the lizard. And in the first movie, in the first set of movies, the only thing I could really think about in the Sam Raimi movies was like the first few scenes in like the first Spider-Man movie with the high school. At least in this movie, you got you felt this. They were at high school. You felt these were high school kids. You felt this was really taking place in the high school. This is what Spider-Man is supposed to be like, because in the cartoon, in the comic, he goes to high school. This is how it should have been done from the get-go. Or at least to the extent it was. And not like an afterthought like it was originally. This wasn't an afterthought. This was more of a secondary, it fit. It fit well in with the movie as a whole. Now, anything that I didn't like about the movie, it's very hard there weren't a lot of things I didn't like about the movie. I can't really think of anything right now. Do you guys hate anything?
Well,
maybe I'll think of something.
I did have actually only one real thing stuck out for me that bothered me. Marissa Tomei, I just think that first of all, they tried to make her out to be somewhat of a sex symbol, and in the comics, Aunt May is an old elderly lady. I did not pick on that up at all with Marissa Tomei. To top it off, she also acts kind of like one of those party moms that tries to be hip and everything. Oh yeah, to top that off, I think her performance was really over the top. Other than that, I mean, I think Sally Field pretty much embodied everything Aunt May should be. Even the one who played the first Aunt May did a fantastic job, but I just don't think Marissa Tomei really pulled it off. It actually kind of reminds me of this line from The Critic where Satan calls Jay Sherman. He goes, "Despite what you've come to believe, I am not the reason Cher won an Oscar. I am, however, the reason Marissa Tomei did." And I think you can pretty much see that. I mean, I enjoy Marissa Tomei, but she didn't really work that well here. Other than that, no, I thought the movie was fine.
I had a bunch of problems, but every problem I had was minor in my opinion. Some of my biggest problems is like the Shocker. I think he wasn't used correctly. I thought they wasted the Shocker.
He needed a uniform.
Well, yeah, the uniform, and plus he just wasn't utilized well. He just came off to me as a henchman, side character, and not an actual Spider-Man villain. And they even had two of them in there. The one they just wasted away completely, literally, just kind of disintegrated in the movie. And the second one didn't really do much either. So, you thought Marissa Tomei was the worst actor. For me, the worst actor in the movie was Donald Glover, as I believe that's the guy's name, as the soon-to-be Prowler, he would just seem like he was sleepwalking through the whole scene.
Yeah.
He almost like he was half asleep or even high during the scene. He looks like he's
Yeah, I
falling
can see that. Yeah.
asleep. So I didn't like
You're
it.
never gonna you're not gonna get any
Yeah.
further if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Gwyneth Paltrow. What do you think about her?
I thought it was funny that she did a cameo in this after she wouldn't show up in Civil War, but I guess after the remarks she's made, maybe she's like, I kind of need the work now a little bit more. So
but I enjoyed her part. If it was small,
she did it well, but the thing is, because she's doing what she knows how to do, perform. You know.
Yeah, I thought she was good, but yeah, it's just such a small. His
Yeah.
cameo part is kind of like we didn't need her. That's for certain.
Well,
but
it
it
was
was nice to see her again.
Yeah,
Just a fun
It was
surprise.
nice to see
Yeah.
Pepper Potts. A new suit that he didn't take as Spider-Man that Peter Parker did not take at the end of the movie. I thought that last suit was sick.
Give it time.
It was really cool. I'm sure he's gonna take it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
but it's like an upgraded like armor suit.
Yeah.
And it looks sick.
That's kind of one of my problems with this movie is I'm kind of split on the suit because I liked it, but at the same time I'm like, how many more gadgets does he have? How many more things is he gonna pull out of his butt? Because I'm like, to me that's not really Spider-Man and all these gadgets and stuff. So when he was in his homemade suit, I felt. To me, that was more okay. That's Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and for this one, I enjoyed it because it was fun to see the new stuff he could do and stuff like
It was
that.
more
But
technological because it had more technology to it because I think that's what they're trying to do with the movie. It's not like you didn't see Falcon in his classic suit. You don't see Vulture in his classic suit. None of these characters. It's more advanced versions of their comic-based suits.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thankful we didn't get Vulture in his old suit. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I probably did. His original suit makes him look like an old guy with Alzheimer's flying around in a bird suit, and I'm just like, oh, thank God we didn't get that.
One thing I liked about Karen, that was the AI in his in the suit he was wearing. What I liked about her, which is kind of funny how I thought it was Friday at first, but I think
Yeah.
Friday is that's Tony Stark's AI in his.
and she had more of like a Scottish accent, I believe. Or
Yeah,
Irish.
yeah. Friday did, but that is his AI. That was after the events that happened in Age of Ultron. But with Karen, well, she didn't have a name at first. Actually, he said Liz, and he's like, no, I can't name you Liz because that's the girl I like. So Karen, and I liked how like Friday and Karen like are these intelligent AIs. They're not stupid. Like they know about like love. They know about like emotions and stuff like that. And I find it really cool how
And there was that scene where she was like, "Oh, it's the perfect time to kiss her now."
Yeah,
Kiss her.
they're very observant to the world. It's not like these
Yeah.
AIs that have to like learn as they go. They are.
Well, I'll say he had to teach her. Like she tried to use the kill mode or whatever.
Oh, that was good. That was like, what's with the instant kill mode? That was good. I like how his eyes turned red in that first scene with the instant kill.
Yeah. So she had to learn that. So.
And what's this? Oh, and about the kid Ned, I really liked the character. I did not realize he was a comic character. But yeah, I don't know the actor who played him, but he did a very good job too.
He does get a smidge on the annoying side, though.
Yeah. That's a little minor problem I had too, because I was like, personally, I don't think Spider-Man needs a sidekick.
Yeah.
But I'm split because I did like Ned. I was like, he don't need a sidekick, but if he's gonna have one, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Even though he almost. He's dying to tell everybody my friend's Spider-Man though.
And I like the Star Wars reference in this movie with the Death Star. You know, that was
Legos.
And
with Lego. Yeah.
And that calls back to the Civil War where he's talking about Star Wars again, where he's talking about the AT-ATs or whatever. And when he's fighting Ant-Man or Giant Man at that time. So.
Yeah, so. I guess we should do our final thoughts. So, who we want to start with you, Russ?
I'm gonna give it a B+. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I did not think it was the Academy Award-winning masterpiece everyone else did, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay.
I'm going to give this movie a solid A. I enjoyed this very much. It's definitely up there with Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't remember what did I give Guardians. I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe an A, A minus, A plus. I don't know. Somewhere in the A category. Yeah, it's definitely up there with Guardians. I think Guardians is a little bit better. Will this make the top of the list this year? I guess we shall see. But yes, I enjoyed it. I think the acting was good. The fight scenes were good. Yeah, some of the scenes at school were a little long, but I'm not gonna say they dragged on. They kept you in suspense. So they were really good, and I really enjoyed this movie a lot. So yeah, my final grade's an A on this. You, Tony?
Yeah, I'm have to agree with you and give it an A. You know, this surprisingly, I'm not the pessimistic one this time. I actually am right up there with you as how much I like this movie. I mean, I think I've already established it. Everything I like about it, I liked a lot. Everything I didn't like about it was I thought, well,
can be swept under the rug.
Can be forgiven. The things. And there's like I said, there's things that I'm kind of split on. I'm like, well, I like it, but I don't like it. So I lean towards actually liking it. Like we've said, Michael Keaton was so good. Tom Holland was so good. You know, most of the actors were really good. The story's really good. The themes and the story, the relationship Peter has with Tony Stark and the Vulture himself, you know, it was just
and Happy Hogan.
So good, and Happy Hogan.
I like how he says, like, why do you call yourself? Why is he happy?
Yeah, and
because they get sued if he used the name Hulk.
and like his school, like he said, and there's points in this movie where, you know, it's just like Spider-Man, where he wants to have a normal life in school, but he also wants to, you know, go out and do his Spider-Man thing, and Peter grows as a character, you know.
Yeah,
he does learn that he doesn't need this suit, you know, to be the hero that he wants to be. And
he's also learned that it'll take him time to become that superhero. He's not there yet, but he's working on it.
Yeah, to become an Avenger.
And he realizes, you know, that he's needed there too in this neighborhood. They need people to help.
Oh, like he says, why can't you? Like Tony says, why can't you be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
I mean, there needs to be other heroes out there doing stuff like stopping bank robberies or stopping muggers or, you know, stuff like that.
And getting a free churro for doing all that.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, and that's where Spider-Man fits perfectly, is the ground level superhero. So, my name is Tony Beers,
Russ,
and Jay,
and we'll see you next time.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. For more Toxic Pop, visit our website at toxicpop1.wixsite.com/toxicpop. Email us at toxicpop1@gmail.com. And check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/toxicpop1 and Instagram at instagram.com/wearetoxicpop. Links are in the description.